working together, we can find that future together and help best position this college as we change. I also wanted to share with you some things that are on the horizon that I see for our college in terms of instruction. We've been making changes now and again with lots of different aspects of instruction, facilities that have been built, others that are on the way, which I'll talk about in a few moments, but also other types of change, new instructional programs that may be on the horizon, things that we're looking at, areas that the research is indicating that we may want to take a look at. Certainly the ERA funds, the Reinvestment Act funds, the AGI fund, the American Graduate Initiative funds, all of those are suggesting, as well as gubernatorial requests, local employer requests, are suggesting that there are other instructional programs that may be on the horizon that we need to take a look at. I also wanted to share with you just very briefly a listing of what are the best jobs out there, so to speak. So Amanda, if you would run that real quick, I'll give you a quick look at what these best jobs are looking at right now. This is a quick look. Mathematicians, you're doing real well. Accountancy, business, you're doing real well. Some areas that we've worked in the past, certainly engineering and industrial design, CAD, CAM, those kinds of things, areas that we're looking at that are in high demand, but also have been found by our students and employees themselves as being important jobs, some of the best jobs that people are actually pursuing. Now, this one was surprising to me, but seemed to be very fulfilling in so many ways. I'd like to know where this place is. It looks pretty cool. This one I didn't like so much. Now this one, I really wondered about that one. I didn't see the pocket protector there, but I knew it was. It takes a lot of math. These are programs that I've been looking at and talking with some of our employees about areas that I think have potential for us, areas that have potential for partnership with some of our other organizations, the ISDs, for example, some that we've already started on in some very limited ways. But I encourage you to take a look at these. This information, this presentation will be on my webpage. I encourage you to take a look at it, but these are some of the areas that we'll be looking at as high demand, high wage jobs for a lot of reasons, because there are economic incentives behind it, there are legislative incentives behind it. So I wanted to share these with you as well. I also wanted to talk to you about some other elements, and I classify this section, I call it workplace realities. Workplace realities, which for me are stress points for us. Take a look at this person. Stress points caused by the changing global dynamic that I mentioned. Stress points that increased workload. Stress points caused because we have lots of students. It's only natural that we have a higher level of stress, that we're feeling a little wound up, perhaps wrapped a little tight. We're feeling a degree of stress one way or another. So first of all, it's important that you take care of yourself. We are dealing with a lot of unique pressure points, and I'll explore some of those as we go along in my presentation here. But it's important that you take care of yourself, that you're eating right, you're getting enough sleep, that you're exercising, you're making good choices with regard to food and beverage, that you're taking care of yourself first so that we can help other people who come to us seeking help and support. I also wanted to mention, just because we have some statistics on the rise doesn't mean that we're being successful. Sometimes it means that you're just doing more of poor performance. You're not being efficient or effective in your use of your time. You're doing the same thing over and over again, so to speak, and expecting different results. John Maxwell, an author that we have worked on, reading his book with the administration, suggests that very appropriately. And so it seems that we take pause and take stock of where we are right now and get a sense of, yes, I need to take care of myself. It is pretty normal that I'm feeling a little bit of change associated with this, a little bit of stress associated with this, and that's pretty normal. And I'll be talking about some of the rationale behind that in just a moment. One of the key points that I wanted to share with you is I've classified as stop the madness. Stop doing things over and over again, expecting different results. Let's do different things and we get different results. One that I wanted to share with you here is about how we do business, how we conduct work. And one thing is that I think that we would be better at it in terms of operation is if we acknowledge deadlines. If we set reasonable deadlines for getting reports submitted, if submitting curriculum for the academic council's review, if we submit documents for consideration for board presentations, those kinds of things, if we respect those deadlines and we honor those and they're given far enough advance that we can prepare material, that we can get it set in enough time, you get the material in advance, you're able to prepare so that when you go to a meeting, you feel prepared, you know what's being expected of you, and you ask appropriate questions, you get the information you need, you know what the topics were going to be, so you surveyed your constituency and said, I had these ideas, my colleagues had these ideas and questions, let me present them forward. So it makes more for an efficient meeting if we know what's expected when we come into a meeting, that we have the information, we have prepared for it. Those submitting information for consideration got it in on time, the information was distributed to all of you in a timely way, we started and ended the meetings on time. All of that, I think, will lead to better efficiency, and this is one of the kind of Stop the Madness campaigns that I'm working on with folks around the campus. The second point I wanted to mention, too, is about taking care of ourselves. And that is, I've seen for too long, a lot of us are trying to eke that extra minute out of the day. Somehow we think we can get 32 hours out of a day, and we pack it into 24. It just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. And so what I'm asking you to do, I'm begging you, pleading you, please, when it comes around lunchtime, get up out of your chair, go have some lunch. And guess what? You'll meet some pretty cool people. Go to the restaurant here in the Potter Center, or step down in McDivitt Hall by the bistro there. Stop down and talk to some people. Say hello to some students. Say hello to some colleagues maybe you haven't met before. This is an opportunity. It's good. It releases the mind of some of the stress and strain. And you know what? When you come back, you're a little more refreshed. Perhaps you can deal with the problem that was in front of you more easily. Maybe the answers come to you a little bit more easily. I strongly encourage you for taking time, and I'm asking for all of us not to have any meetings over the noon hour. Just take a break from all the work we're doing. Give yourself permission to pause, relax, refresh, walk around campus, do something. And so that's the second component that we've been working on. And then the third here is for the meetings. I think it is important for us to be available to students. So these are the three components that I'm working on and trying to move around through our institution and share that as a kind of a standard operating procedure, if we will. We've got other ideas that we're considering to try to take what we have and make better use of the resources we have, and not trying to pack more into a day, be more realistic with our expectations, those kinds of things. So I wanted to share that with you. On a related note, related to the Stop the Madness campaign, one thing that I've heard over and over again, and it has been palpably deployed to me through the survey work we have, the PACE surveys at the college, involves communication and decision making. Repeatedly, in different forms, in different ways, you have shared with me, many of you have shared with me, the fact that I don't know how a decision is made. How did this happen? And where was this discussed? Where did I have my opportunity to have input into this process? Who decided this, and when did that happen? Well, what I'm proposing here is that we address that very issue. We address related issues which are presented here. What's the difference between a council and a task force, an ad hoc group and a committee and a club and whatever else you want to call it out there? Those are appropriate questions. Other questions sound more like, where do I take this? I've got this idea. What group do I go to? At what level should this be decided? These are all very appropriate questions. And so we're embarking on about a year-long study of this very issue and trying to come up with a better way of doing business. And that is to say, can we rethink the way we have decision-making conducted on campus? Many of you serve on all kinds of committees and clubs and task forces and all kinds of things. You don't have time to do your own business. In this case, we have over 45 known committees, and then you have all these, I call it adhocracy, all these little things that kind of pop up that we don't necessarily think about as we deploy our time. And so for me, we're going to spend some time talking. I've already started sharing it with administrative council, the academic council, and a lot of others. We're going to get that conversation going, seeking your input